Truck Show Podcast, live from the SEMA Show in Las Vegas. Presented by Nissan, with support from EGR, Banks, and Amsoil.
We are back from SEMA, but it's not like we're out of material.
Oh,
No. The cup runneth over, as they say.
We have a lot of stuff. My voice is still messed up from SEMA.
It sounds like it.
Yeah.
Wait, what time out? That's the cigar talking right there.
No, the cigars help keep the bad stuff away. It's right on the verge. I felt like I was on the verge all week.
I thought the whiskey is what kept the bad stuff away.
Maybe it's the whiskey.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. I didn't have enough whiskey.
You need to do an analysis of what actually keeps the bad stuff away.
You know what's interesting here is I got back from SEMA.
Mm-hmm.
I got this box from
what
our
is
listener.
that? Yeah, U.S. Postal Service, big ass box. What is
From
that?
Chris and Emily Baker. So he hit me up and said, "Hey, can I send you a
Here's some skizzers for you.
Can I send you a gift for the Podshed?"
Mm-hmm.
And I said, "Sure." I don't know what it is. I'm literally opening the box now.
Okay, well, make it snappy because we have a lot of SEMA interviews to get to.
Well, you know what happens is if we don't do this now, we'll forget, and Chris will go, "I freaking shipped you something, you a-holes forgot."
Yeah, that does happen. We do forget to open packages every so often. Feel free to send them to Lightning and Holman if you love us. While he's opening that, we've got interviews from Stellar Build. We've got our friends at Expel. We're checking with WaySafe. We've got our friends at Stinger, at Kokemi, Red Arc, and so many more coming up on this episode. It's jam-packed. What is that?
There's a card.
Okay.
It has a blue raptor in the snow.
Oh, wait, that's them. Those are photographs of the family.
It's like the Christmas card. This is our first Christmas card.
No way.
Anyone's ever sent us.
Yeah, it's the truck on snow. Look.
Yeah, see?
It's sitting on. Oh, that's cool.
It says, Lightning and Holman, it's Emily Baker again. You featured my legendary email at the end of Season 2, Episode 70. And my husband, Chris, and I wanted to send a few gifts as a thank you for everything you do for the community. So pull up a stool and share our excitement. We're huge fans of the podcast. We've been listening to you both for years. Chris got me hooked after a few episodes, and now we love catching up with the truck show together. By the time, who knew that we were good for marriages?
I had no clue.
We're not even good for our own marriages.
I would have thought that we would have broken marriages up, not kept
definitely
them tidy.
By the time you get this, we'll be driving the Raptor from Chicago to Wichita to visit family. 3D printing is one of our hobbies, and we hope this custom-printed light box will make a great addition to the Podshed. Chris took your logo and design and printed everything, mounted the parameters, and wired the LEDs to give it a professional look. He thinks it could have turned out a bit better, but he's very happy with it. I included some of my dark chocolate chunk cookies. Oh, good thing we didn't wait.
What?
I would have been so bummed if we forgot to open this.
Rip that open.
No, you
Come
need to
on.
hold on.
That's because I love cookies. Come on now.
She says, I hope you get away from the box. Sit down. There are a few boxes for each of you. One to keep in the Podshed and another to take home or stash in your truck so you don't have to share.
Dude,
You're literally drooling right now.
I'm involuntarily drooling right now.
Pavlov's dog. Hey, Pavlov, why don't you sit over there? Stay. Here's some pictures of me, Chris, and his daughter doing truck things. Take care, and we hope you guys have a great start to your holiday season. Emily and Chris Baker. That is awesome.
Wow.
All right, so I'm opening up the box here.
Check out the card, too. All handwritten card, by the way.
cool.
That's not like a cheesy card. That's super cool.
Look at that.
Yeah. Let me see that.
That's awesome.
Dude.
3D printed light box. Check it out.
Can I plug it in? All right.
Dude, this is hilarious. Wait, hold on. We got to get pictures before we turn to this.
Uh-huh.
She literally labeled the boxes with our faces.
What?
Yeah.
All right.
That way,
yeah,
you have
take
your
photos.
boxes, I'm
Take
taking
photos. All right. You guys are too cool. That is so
That's
rad.
awesome.
We do
We
not
don't deserve
deserve
that.
you.
No, we don't.
we are undeserving, Emily and Chris. Thank you very, very much.
Man. Oh, wait,
All right.
hold on. There's more.
Okay, come on. We have to get to the
there's-
episode. This thing's going to be 6 hours
That's
long if
that's
we're not
the cord.
careful.
Here's the cord to the light box.
Yep. Oh, perfect.
All right, so we need
There
that.
we go.
And I'm going to give you one of your boxes of cookies, and if you do a good
Please
show,
do.
I'll give you the other one.
While we're opening and plugging in light boxes right here, Holman, you want to launch into thanking Nissan?
All right, we got to thank Nissan, our presenting sponsor. So Nissan has been the presenting sponsor of the Truck Show podcast for nearly a decade now, it seems like, and we love them and thank them for their patronage. And if you're looking for a truck, why don't you head on down to your local Nissan dealer where you can check out the all-new Armada, the updated 25 Nissan Frontier. They've got some great products coming out right now. I'll be going to Nashville to drive the Armada next month, and I'm getting an Armada, and I'm getting a Frontier in December to drive around in. Oh, look at that. Yeah,
look at
that's
that
cool.
pod shed
All right, hold on. We gotta
lights.
take a picture of that. Hold on.
Oh, that is the
Lightning hole.
coolest thing ever. I just lit it up. Hold on. This is awful podcasting right now. Sorry, we don't
Taking
deserve
a
this.
picture, and that's great.
All right, perfect.
All right, so head on down to your local Nissan dealership because unlike me, you aren't going to have Nissan dropping things off in your driveway to drive for a week or two.
That's true. And we got to thank Banks Power. What is that over there? Are those your cookies? Oh God. Okay.
Dude,
All right. Let me
individually
finish this.
wrapped?
Let me get through this.
Dude, Lightning's a chocolate chip cookie connoisseur.
You have no
You're
idea.
going to freaking love these.
Let
Look
me
at that.
Oh, look how big that piece of chocolate is. All right. And we got to thank Banks Power. Look at that
They have,
chocolate chunk in there.
I know, but they also have sprinkles of sugar, like little sugar crystals.
Oh, really?
So good.
Oh, my God. Okay. We got to thank Banks Power. So if you guys are driving a diesel, maybe it's a Ram, maybe it's Cummins powered, maybe it's the GM with the Duramax, you've got a MAP sensor, your manifold absolute pressure sensor, and it hangs in the wind there in that sooty EGR exhaust gas that's being recirculated. And what happens is over time, that gets caked in soot, and your fuel economy and your power go down. You want to move it out of that sooty exhaust stream with a Banks MAP sensor relocation kit. We got them for 2011 to 2023 Ford F-250 and 350s. We got them for all the Duramaxes and all of the Rams 2007 to current. So go over to bankspower.com and just go search for MAP sensor relocation kit. It'll pop right up, and they're only $70.
By the way, how about that dinner we had with AMSOIL at SEMA with Scott Birdsall?
Mm-hmm.
So Scott Birdsall's a foodie.
He is a big-time foodie.
We went to a restaurant in Vegas where there was like a lot of shareable small plates.
It's called Beauty in Essex, and it's the hidden restaurant in the
Cosmo.
Well, it's in the Cosmo. Yeah, sorry, and it's the hidden restaurant that is in their trinket,
like an antique store.
Antique store, yeah.
So anyway, Scott ordered like 5 of everything on the menu. And then there were people at dinner who ordered like more stuff. Dude, we had so much food. It was unbelievable.
Someone ordered 2 T-bone steaks.
No. Those weren't T-bones.
Mm-hmm.
Those were freaking tomahawks.
Oh, we'll start it with a T.
And we had 2 on the table.
They were ginormous.
And there's pictures of me eating the bones off of both of them.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I wish I could have just put all that meat in my pocket.
That's what she said.
Well, all right. So if you're looking for synthetic lubricants,
Wait, hold on a second.
that seems like a really odd
wait,
segue.
You brought up Scott Birdsall. So Scott literally went crazy with all of the. Okay, hold on. You guys will.
There
at
was
some
a
point
spoon of soup that had a little tiny grilled cheese sandwich on it.
I'm telling you,
Delicious.
this food is freaking awesome. This is 2 years in a row we've been to dinner with AMSOIL at that restaurant. If you go to the Cosmo in Vegas,
Go there.
it's called Beauty and Essex,
Go there.
and it's in a pawn shop. And when you walk in, you're like, this can't be right. And you go to the left, it's very small, and there's a door. Open the door, and all of a sudden you're in a gorgeous restaurant, and the food is freaking crazy. I'm telling you, it is so good. Don't get a full meal. Get all the appetizers.
Yeah, all the apps.
You're going to freak.
And you're going to be full.
Dude, listen. Holman and I are spoiled.
Listen.
Hold on a second.
No.
We've been
You
treated.
hold on a second.
We've been treated
Yes.
to dinners all over the place.
No, this is a great one.
This is
All right,
good.
Let me. I gotta get back to the AMSOIL read. So check
go.
this out. Watch this. The only catalog that has more variety than Beauty and Essex shareable apps
my God.
is AMSOIL. So if you're looking for oils and lubricants and greases, head to AMSOIL.com. They make the best synthetic oils out there. AMSOIL, the first in synthetics.
And of course, we have to thank EGR. They had us out to the booth for. They had drinks, and it was a big gang of people watching
did a
our
show. Which was the last long episode you guys heard about us being in the booth. That was a great show. We had a crowd. It was fun.
Chris came by.
Loved doing that.
He's one of the owner's sons, but he's always great. Anyway, I wanted to remind you that there's never been a better time to buy a retractable bed cover, which is called the Roll Track, at EGRUSA.com. Right now, we're in the middle of a huge sale at EGR. You can get up to 30% off plus a rebate of $250 on the manual Roll Track bed cover. Let me say it again. You can save up to 30% off the very best tonneau cover on the market, the Roll Track, plus get an additional $250 rebate. Hit their online store today at EGRUSA.com.
The Truck Show. We're gonna show you what we know. We're gonna answer what the truck, 'cause truck rhymes with the Truck Show. We have the lifted, we have the lowered, and everything in between. We'll talk about trucks that run on diesel and the ones that run on gasoline. The Truck Show, the Truck Show, the Truck Show. Oh, oh.
It's the Truck Show with your hosts, Lightning and Holman.
What's up? Long time no speak.
Yeah, I know.
It's my boys from Stellar Built. How you guys doing?
Hey, good, man.
Fantastic. So you are in the Toyota Tread Pass with what? Wait a minute. Why is the hood of this Toyota truck leaning forward like a Pagani?
Full tons of front clip here.
That's not a Hellcat in there, is it?
That is a Hellcat.
Yes.
Let this guy CJ tell you what's going on in here.
CJ, what'd you build over here?
Oh, dude, we built some crazy stuff. What happened is he needed some horsepower in this Tacoma, so he found a Hellcat engine trans whole unit out of a car and stuffed it in a Tacoma. We did a Ford front frame. We changed out the suspension in the front, the TTB, and then everything else is custom back half.
What year Tacoma did this start as?
It was a 16. I mean, it still is, but
It still is
partially,
technically,
yeah.
right.
Part of it's a 16 still.
How much frame is left? I mean, a little bit?
Probably about 6 feet.
Okay,
Whatever's
got
under
it.
the doors, yeah.
How did this start? Did it start as a mild build or just let's go bonkers?
I think it was bonkers, honestly. I mean, as far as I'm aware, he had a 3.5. Yeah, he's turbocharged the stock engine that blew up, and then after that, it was just big snowball effect. Hey, let's do a Hellcat. Hey, let's do a crazy pre-runner. Let's cage it. Let's do pretty much a trophy truck.
What are you using for like engine management, into like ECM?
All factory Mopar. Whatever came out of a Hellcat Charger is stuffed into this truck.
It was a complete crate engine, so it came with everything, transmission, all the drive, everything was connected. So,
Oh, really?
Yeah, so it's running off of that. I mean, it's probably requires some sort of tune eventually for this application. You know, it's particularly when it comes to transmission and all that. But you know, it runs and drives for now. So it still it makes all the power, but I'm sure you can squeeze some more out of it.
Is it two-wheel or four-wheel drive?
It's 4-wheel drive.
Four-wheel. Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
So the big takeaway from this truck is the fact that it has a TTB, twin traction beam conversion. That's what kind of set the pace for fitting this big V8 in there. Because you know, with TTB, you can put all your shock towers connections wherever you want. Versus having the factory IFS, you're limited by where the A arms are, and you're just limited by space. So all the room you need with a twin traction beam. So.
Tell me about the time to build this. How long did you guys twist wrenches?
I mean, gosh, if we just if it was like nonstop, it'd probably be about a year. But it took breaks, waiting for parts, and making decisions. This is actually like a third version of this truck. It's been at SEMA before. We've built it just like a traditional long travel setup, but came back, put a new motor, didn't like the motor, put another motor in, and then we went to the whole TTB route, and just kind of like, well, in that case we have to reinforce the front end. Well, let's get into the cab. Well, let's do the whole back half, and it just kind of went from there.
So inside, yeah, fully caged, I see. Yeah, beautiful work inside.
Fully caged, custom dash. I mean, it's a complete tube rear end. So, I mean, it's got all the goods. Huge 60-gallon tank. So.
LED whip so you can take it to Glamis or whatever.
Yeah, it's ready to party. So, a lot of stuff from Solid Motorsports. I mean, this thing is set up. So.
Look at this long travel. Okay, what do you think the owner has into this? Now, I guess it's kind of morphed over time, right?
I mean, it's hard to say. Like, I think you kind of stop counting after $100,000. So, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of. It's like a labor of love, Like you want the best of the best. If you're already, it's like once you're in kind of deal. If you're in this deep, you might as well do this. And if you do this, you might as well do that. So.
Now, there's one of your long-time customers.
Yeah. Stuart is the owner. He's like I said, we've built this truck before, and we did it again, and this is like a third version. So yes, we've been working this truck for over 5 or 6 years in different states of its build. So
is it like a weight off your shoulders to finally have it out so the public can see it?
I mean, it's good to see it finally done. I mean, of course, like we work on it, and sometimes it would sit for a couple of months because whether for parts or this or that, or we just like would work another project because we gotta keep the shop busy. So, but yeah, no, for sure, super excited to have it here, sitting on the ground. So we're going to be testing this thing and really kind of fine-tuning suspension and all that afterwards. So.
And all of the weld work, I'm going to take some photos of it. There, Sean. Look at this. He rolls up mid-interview.
How's it going?
My buddies from Stellar Built here. Built this thing that's got a Hellcat under the hood.
Awesome. Yeah, we worked with you on Quinn's 74 Weld Tacoma.
Color. Yeah, right on.
I don't recall seeing another Tacoma with a Hellcat under the hood.
Well, it's probably more go than regular Tacoma, I would imagine.
Well, for sure, it's what's left of the Tacoma. Let's say that. So, yeah.
So exactly what is left of the Tacoma? The body on white, the door handles and mirrors?
So the center section here. So this is the original Tacoma cab. Original frame is in the center. The back half is the old tube. The front half is actually grafted from a Bronco. That's what allowed it to run the twin traction beam suspension.
Got it. Yeah. That's wonky. in a good way.
so it's
A TTB Hellcat powered.
It's a Tacoma with a Dodge motor with a Ford front end. So, yeah.
I can
Well
get behind this for 100%. I'm down.
Well done. Now, if we come up to Sacramento, can we go for a ride?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, as owners, if we have to ask Stewart, but I'm sure we can. Yeah, if you guys can be in the area, I'm sure we can make something happen.
Awesome.
Well, even if this isn't there, they always have something cool at Stellar Built.
No, they do.
So we'll figure it out.
A lot of eye candy in there.
We'll grease some wheels.
Yeah,
All right,
yeah,
I gotta
right.
go do another interview. So you
Here in the tread pass?
No, I'm going to Mopar.
Oh, God. Oh, I'm going to follow you over there.
See you. Bye.
All right, bye.
Nice to see you, Sean. Thank you. Yeah.
See you too.
You are a hard dude to track down, Mr. Chris Hardy. How you doing?
No, that's not true.
I'm very sorry.
That's not true. I've seen him over and over and over again, and every time he was so busy, it's like, oh, okay, not now.
That's about it. To the point that I've lost my voice.
A man of the people, clearly
A man
here
of-
on the
well, I
SEMA show
pretend to be
floor.
a man of the people. Yeah.
I was all stoked. I thought I was going to run into you last night at the party, and I go over there, and I'm just bopping around, looking. I made laps upstairs, laps downstairs, and I'm like,
But I was
how?
probably lapping at the same time you were.
No, well, I
See, what you got to do is you got to reverse direction halfway through and mess
that's
him up.
it.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
it.
I got there at 9:40, and I was told that you left around 9:20.
Oh God, no! I was on the microphone at 9:15 till about 9:20, so that's not possible.
Okay, when I got
And
there,
then
I got there
I-
last night. There was no one on the microphone,
No. You're,
just the DJ.
so you got there after 9:20 then.
maybe
Oh,
I did.
you
When
just
did-
got
when-
busted.
when did you drop me off?
Listen, I'm not going to get in the middle of this, all right?
Listen,
this is,
I
that's
feel
not
like
you.
I feel like there's some fibbing going on.
I feel like there's some fibbing going on here,
Come
too.
on. I got that. I even shot video just to prove I was there because I
Okay, I'm not saying you weren't there. I'm saying what time did you?
I don't know. Am I wrong? I don't know. Like here, based on that shot right there,
But that's 10:46.
is it?
Yeah,
is
you
it
just got
different?
busted.
Oh man,
You just got
that was one
busted.
too many Modelos. All right. Well, anyway, I was there and you weren't. And here we are.
Okay, there is truth that I might have disappeared earlier than the rest of others did.
Well, you're working.
Right around 10:10 last night, I slipped out the front door without most people noticing.
The Irish goodbye.
But it was, look, last night was amazing. You know, we had a lot of brands in there as well. We had General Motors was in there, Kia was in there, Mazda was in there, Tesla was in there with some of their OEM teams, and then obviously an insane amount of our customers. It was amazing.
So wait, they weren't there to party necessarily. They were hobnobbing because.
Yeah, I could say they were there instead. How about that?
See, I knew there
All
was
right,
a story.
he
you
can't
could
tell
talk
us everything, but what he can tell us about is the...
Well, I can tell you about the Tesla.
about. Can you?
all right.
Oh yeah, and I
all
can
right.
tell you about Rivian. Rivian was there last night too, actually, now that I say that.
But you already had a
We've been
relationship
partnering with them
Rivian.
for a while.
We
Yeah.
did. So the difference that's happening as of November 14th with Rivian is that rather than everything being done at the factory, instead the factory is only going to take care of the full body stealth. So if you pre-order your Rivian prior to shipment with the full body stealth factory option.
And the Stealth is the matte finish
Matte.
expel paint protection.
Correct. The matte finish film. However, window tint and clear film and even full body stealth after delivery from factory is going to get installed by the entire network. Like, in other words, our chosen expel.
You'll get a coupon or some sort of something
no, you
redeemable?
spend it. You still pay them through it.
Okay.
You still pay them for it, and then what happens is they let us know that there's a client in this zip code.
Got it.
That customer is then assigned to a shop. That shop will service it, and then we'll pay the shop, and Rivian will pay us.
There you go.
Okay.
And then that's actually what's happening with Tesla at this point as well. So Tesla has, in their case, there's a specific language that they use, which is called a referral program. And so for North America, we are their referral program for their window film. So when you purchase a Tesla, you will receive a communication from them at this point, which is an email, that says, hey, we do have a referral program with XPEL, and you can choose for your vehicle to get 3 different lines of window film done, whether it's CS, XR, XR Plus. I know you guys had XR Plus done in your vehicles. And then what coverage do you want, right? Do you just want the front too if you got like a Model X? Or do you want all the windows done? The only thing that they're not offering through the program is the front windshield. But you can get the sunroof done or whatever, and then you pay it, and same thing. Based on your zip code, the consumer zip code, it's then assigned to an independent shop that's going to service it for them.
Well, that's good for keeping your dealer network busy, too.
Yeah, I mean, look, at the end of the day, it means that the dealer network has a zero customer acquisition cost. There is a wholesale, obviously, play to this,
Sure.
right? I mean, it's not full retail, and it's a nationwide price, too. So the other reality with this is that unlike shops where they may say, hey, well, in my area, I charge this, and in this area, I charge something else, no.
You've leveled it all out.
You have to, because the manufacturer, just like for their vehicles,
Yeah.
it's a one price. And so, there is some complication with that because obviously the cost of labor is very different in like New York City.
Well, the cost of the rent of the building.
All of that. Your total cost. Northern New Jersey, extremely expensive in comparison to, let's say, even Southern New Jersey, like by Atlantic City, right? That's not the same cost. So at the end of the day, we're working our ways through it. But I mean, our dealers are of course incredibly happy because, especially with the fact that you've got now arguably the most famous brand in the world, Tesla, speaking about our brand by name, not some just generic like this is the Tesla window tint, which is of course what most manufacturers do.
They have said, we have chosen this one. We've vetted them all and we've chosen XPEL.
Yeah, so again, we have to be super careful with language for Tesla. Tesla only has one partnership that I'm aware of where they declare it as a partnership.
Oh, I see.
Panasonic, which is who makes the batteries. I don't know if there's a collaboration at all, a joint venture. I have no clue. But what I do know is that that's the only one that I'm aware of as a partnership. So yes, in this case, they vetted our films and said, yes, we're quite content with them. And if you get the installation done through the program, the cool part is it does not affect your window warranty. This is kind of interesting for a lot of people because well, wait a second, what do you mean by that? Well, if you do something to the glass that is not factory, and then the factory decides that it's because of what you've done to the glass.
Like if it cracks on a super hot day, super cold day, whatever.
Right.
May not have anything to do with the film. In fact, the film may help it.
Right.
But they're going to deny warranty because
they
could.
Because it's an unknown for them.
Yeah.
Correct. It has not been tested, it has not been proven. They don't know for a fact that it was not something that interfered with it. In this case, as long as you get the film done through their program, then the warranty is still intact if something should happen to the glass. Correct.
That must have been a monumental effort to get that done.
It was a monumental effort, but the reality is that we have an OEM team headed up by Dwayne Gautreau and Anthony Pekaski, two individuals I don't think you guys have met yet. But without them, it would never have come to fruition. And, I'm beyond proud and beyond excited, as is our entire customer base. I mean, every single shop, regardless of brand, was almost immediately reaching out when the rumor started spreading, hey, how do I get on the Tesla program? We're like, well, you can only get on the Tesla program, A, if you're XPEL, and B, you've got to be exclusively XPEL.
Oh.
Yes, because again,
they don't want to mix media.
Yes, and look, think about it from a brand, right? I mean, if you're Tesla and you're saying, hey, we've got a referral program for XPEL, and you go in and you spend, let's say, $1,000 on an XR Plus window film, which again, some people are like, $1,000 for a window tint? Yes, XR Plus is that kind of price point, just like 3M's Crystalline is, or some of the other really high-end films. But now the consumer goes to a shop. Maybe the shop does carry XPEL, but it also carries an inexpensive off-make brand.
And they may want to take the margin and bump it up.
No-name brand.
Yep.
Beat and sweet you.
Yes, definitely could happen. Install's done. Customer drives off, happy. 3 months later, the tint's turning purple, peeling off the back glass, bubbling. What's going to happen? They're going to slam Tesla for partnering with XPEL on a crappy program.
Yeah.
And yet it actually may not be ours at all.
Right.
So as a result, the requirement is the shop must be 100% exclusive on everything.
Makes sense.
Cannot be using another brand of paint protection film, cannot be using another brand of ceramic coating, another brand of care chemicals. It's a very, very strict program, but so is the Rivian and
the others that are forthcoming.
There are definitely many more coming.
Congratulations in advance.
Thank you.
That's super cool. They're not as cool as your shoes.
They're cool. Nothing's as cool as my shoes.
He's wearing the Louis.
He's got Louis Vuitton kicks right here. They're like
they're like a blue suede.
But they're like dunks.
Yes.
But dude, they
Our lightning is now touching Chris's
it's
shoe.
getting a little weird, but I don't mind.
I got on.
I'm comfortable.
Okay, so a couple things before we get to the windshield, because that's a really big deal to probably everywhere, but to me especially, and to Sean who goes off-roading and all that stuff. Can we talk about your acquisition of PFS down in Orange County?
Yes, of course we can.
Okay, I didn't know if that was public or not.
It's public. Yes, that acquisition came along, I feel like about 6 months ago or so, maybe just a little bit longer. And there was a number of reasons for it. One, of course, for the brand itself.
So for those of you that don't know, in my area in Southern California, Protective Film Solutions, PFS as the insiders call it, is the shop to go to if you can afford it. So all the Paganis, Lamborghinis, Bugattis, they go to them. And then, of course, other guys, all of your Mercedes and whatever. And yes, they'll do your Nissan, whatever. They'll do anything. But they are the guys that...
It's where all the celebrities in Newport Beach and
it's
athletes
all that.
are going to have their stuff
But it's not
done.
just the fact that it's cool to go there. They're the guys that make the paint protection film disappear. You can never find a seam. It's just...
It's a very high quality installation.
Very high end, yes.
Yeah, I mean, look, you guys and I talked about this on the original show. Even amongst our own XPEL shops, which are very well vetted, there is a high level of variance between what install in one shop looks like, as a matter of fact, versus not only versus another shop, but even in the same shop. PFS would tell you that
it's labor intensive.
It is. It's an art.
Yeah, it is an art.
It's an art.
I watched it.
Yes.
I mean, literally, I sat there and watched it and documented it and talked to the installers, or 3 different installers on my Jeep working on different things. I talked about the fluids and the chemicals and the film and how they did things and
preparation.
Well, I mean, even the you guys are known for having the templates,
right?
But even the templates aren't something you just put on a vehicle. The template is a starting point,
right?
And all the installers know where they need to modify the template and where they need to stretch it and where they need to move it, and it's fascinating.
Yeah. So again, really good shops do spend an absorbent amount of time taking the world's best patterns, which are ours, and then modifying them to even do more than what the pattern and the film is really intended to do, because they've got that kind of level of experience to be able to get away with it. Protective Film Solutions, or PFS as you constantly refer to it as, so did I, was one of those shops. And so even within PFS though, you had installers that were like world class, and then you had installers that weren't quite that level. Now, I'm not saying that they didn't always deliver a world-class install, but what would end up happening is somebody at that higher level would come back and inspect the installation and go, okay, this panel can be way better. Either they're redoing it, making it to that level, or they would do it themselves. You know, you have another shop actually down in San Diego that's also almost as famous, which is One of One. Evan at One of One and Austin at One of One. Their shop is also extremely well known for a lot of those. But the thing that put PFS in particular, I think, on the map was Jay Leno. You know, Jay Leno and his Jay Leno's Garage was doing an episode, had a vehicle, said, "Hey, is there any chance you want to do want to film the vehicle for me?" And then they went up there and they actually did a full body install for Jay, and Jay did a full excerpt for him on his show. And then that wasn't the only time; it's happened multiple times.
Is it correct that will be like a flagship store for XPEL?
Sort of. So that's a great question. So like the idea is, what do we do with it, right? And it is what we would consider more of like a boutique shop. So there's lots of variance in terms of the business plan when it comes to paint protection film.
I would imagine it'll be a boon for social media.
It is a boon for social media for sure. But to take it one step further, you have shops that want to do a lot more of like the wholesale operation, the turn and burn. I'm not saying poor quality, I'm just saying delivering what the price point delivers, right? You've got customers who don't want to spend $10,000, $12,000, $15,000 for a full body install, but they'll spend $7,000 or $6,000. That is deliverable. It is. Maybe not for a real big vehicle, but for an average sized car it is. But in turn, where are you going to shave? You've got to take back somewhere else. You're not going to dismantle the car and have 4,000 hours of man hours just in, re the vehicle. But going back to that, yeah, you have shops that are 100% interested in that kind of workmanship. And so that's a lot of our customer base right now, which is doing a lot more of the daily drivers. And then as you get a lot more into these hypercars and super luxury cars and exotics, you need more of that boutique. So now that XPEL owns that brand name, we can go ahead and license it or utilize it how we see fit within any market within the world and use that brand name. Keep in mind that in Canada, we have a brand name called Protex. This is a franchise company that we purchased back in, I think, 16 or 17 from Matt Moreau, and that's another brand that we own.
So are you saying like you could essentially have like a PFS certified install shop, so it would be a sub-brand or a certification level to really be the best of your XPEL installers? It's something they could strive for to be considered in that top 2%, 5% of all installers.
We could definitely do that. That's not something that I think we've recently explored. We've been more exploring the idea of licensing the name. So you've got shops that want to be considered, like you're saying, the top of the top of the top. Well, they know that PFS was considered the top of the top of the top, especially through social media. right, from Jay and all these other things. And so, okay, if you want that name that bad, what's it worth? And so perhaps we turn around and we license it rather than franchise it. Maybe we license that name. So you're changing your shop name.
So basically a DBA as PFS Austin or PFS New England or whatever.
Right, and we haven't started that,
Yeah.
but that's something that we're going to look into, and we'll make a determination. Because again, like, you know, if I was going to say, hey, we can have an XPEL store in every corner like a Starbucks, but there wasn't any distinction between them, then you probably couldn't get away with it. There's not enough work to go around. But what if I said on one corner is a PFS level shop and a PFS level price point, but on the other corner is a Protex level shop, which is still high end, but more of that turn and burn.
More a little bit
daily driver.
It's more of a
Daily
commodity.
driver. Yes.
Right?
And then an even lower price point market, let's say that it existed, right?
That's going to be panels and bras and things like that, right?
Or like, like maybe partial front ends, and door cups and door edges, and like maybe
a lease return or a lease vehicle or something.
Things of that nature, for sure. And there's a market for all of it.
Absolutely.
That's how you could sustain that kind of opportunity. What you couldn't do is you couldn't have 4 shops equally named, equally branded, equally targeted on every corner.
Well, the problem is if you have XPEL, you're at some point with those different price points, you're diluting the main brand.
You are.
So if you pull the main brand out of it and say these all use XPEL products, but the shops are branded at different tiers, now it doesn't dilute XPEL the product. Now you're giving a good, better, best to the shops that are using the XPEL product.
Absolutely correct.
Yeah.
You know the best thing about the Truck Show podcast is for people listening?
We're talking about Teslas and business.
No, I was going to say it's talking about
trucks.
No, we have access to people. Most of our listeners will never talk to you, and we have a lot of entrepreneurs in business, and you get to hear the backside of water on how people are thinking, how very successful minds in the industry are looking at how to operate their business, tactical and strategic, thought process, all that kind of stuff. Where are you going to get that kind of stuff? This is fascinating for somebody who owns a business and is going, oh, I never even looked at something that way.
We have a lot of owners of $100,000 plus trucks.
Absolutely.
Typically, you don't get to that level working for someone else. You have the entrepreneurial spirit. Whether you're working for someone and you have a side hustle, or you own a construction company, or who knows what you do, right? And I think that speaks to those guys.
Yeah, I mean, look, upfitting opportunities have been there for a long time. You walk the SEMA show that we're here right now, and in, I don't know, 75% of the booths, what's in there? It's a truck or an SUV, and it's been drastically. In our own booth, we have a Kia that's been upfitted, right, with an Overland edition. It's never been done before, but Kia and XPEL decided to partner along with some other brands to do some SEMA builds. So there's one in our booth, there's one in another booth, and then there's one outside. But like, again, like you're saying, like, this is not necessarily an individual who's not in that space already, in that mentality, in that, like, I want more than what I currently have, I want to do something unique, I want to do something, and I want it to be mine. You know, a vehicle is always typically an extension for a lot of people of like who they are, and it's a statement, right? Whether it's a sports car, whether it's a truck, whether it's an electric vehicle, it says I'm super conscious about the environment, like whatever it is, for a lot of people it is a distinction for them.
All right, we got to move over to
this
product,
let's
new
talk
product.
about this windshield product. This is a big deal.
So what we have going on in here is really interesting. So for a number of years, we have been working on what would be referred to as a windshield protection film. And my own stores, prior to me coming on board with XPEL, if you remember, they're located in Kamloops, British Columbia, and then we had other ones on the island. Well, we were driving that highway called the Coquihalla Highway constantly. There's a TV show based on that highway called Highway Through Hell, where all the trucks go off the road in the wintertime. That highway, they lay 3/4 inch aggregate on that road all year round. And the reason it's 3/4 is because although the winds, which are so strong, they will sweep regular gravel right off of the road, and then it's not there anymore. So in 2014, XPEL started sending my own personal store versions of windshield film to test. And it took us this long to actually bring one out. So Tuesday, the day of SEMA beginning, was the very first official launch day of our windshield protection film. The windshield protection film is a TPU in this case. We will be coming out with a PET version as well.
Explain what that means.
I'm going to get there for sure. So if you guys remember, we talked about this much earlier.
Yep.
In that TPU is more like the paint protection film. This is a thermoplastic urethane, and so it is a more like a rubbery sort of plastic versus a PET, which is more of like what a hockey shield is made out of. PET is what you do for window tint, TPU is what you do for paint protection film. The cool part about paint protection film, or in this case, it's not paint protection film, it's windshield protection film, and it is obviously quite better and different, is that it doesn't need shrinking. So if you guys remember watching your vehicle getting tinted, they have to shrink the film to match the glass to then get it installed, because otherwise it doesn't fit it. It's a very two-dimensional product. You're trying to make it 3D, you're trying to mold it to the glass. Well, there is versions of windshield protection film, which is PET. It's much cheaper to make. It's thinner, it's 4 mil versus 8 mil, which is what we have for the TPU. But the hard part is it's really difficult to shrink a 4 mil film for the glass. You'll spend 20, 25 minutes doing it, and it may not work.
And let's bring it up to the listener up to speed on a couple options out there.
Sure.
There's companies out there that are doing windshield protection film.
Yes.
The things you have to worry about, in addition to rock chips and stuff like that, are your windshield wipers affecting optical clarity with dust and dirt and debris.
Correct.
There's some companies out there that have layers that you have to peel out, and they don't last very long.
Correct.
And then you have to replace that whole film again.
Sure.
And then you've got other ones that are thicker, like you're saying, but it doesn't have the optical clarity you really need. And now we're getting into ADAS and the cameras and stuff in the vehicle. That's a huge consideration. So even when you replace your windshield, if the aftermarket windshield's just a little bit off, it could affect your ADAS system and all of your safety features and your adaptive cruise control and all that. So when we talk about technology, it's not just a film, a sticker that gets applied.
Correct.
There's literal, real technology that goes into it because it's affecting a lot of downstream things that most people haven't thought about.
Yeah, and I love the ones that you touched on, especially the aftermarkets. Like, one of the things that always drove me craziest the most when I was a used car manager and I was buying vehicles is that I would always look right above the windshield for that little tiny bit of bubbling happening. The minute I saw that, I knew that I was going to have a major rust issue down the road with that vehicle, so I never bought them. Never. And I knew that the only reason why it had that, why it was doing that, was because of the windshield replacement, right? You cut out that gasket, that factory gasket is out. There's water involved. The water's now getting trapped between the new glass and the top of the panel of the roof. That water is sitting in there trapped. It now eats into the metal, and then you start getting the rust. I never, as a used car manager, would buy a vehicle if I could see even the slightest amount of that happening already. Even though I knew I was selling the vehicle, obviously, within like 30 days or less typically.
Yeah, but you don't want to do the customer dirty.
That's just it. Like, for me, I was like, look, I already know there's a problem coming, and it's very hard to address it. So I when people say, well, but I have like a $0 deductible, I get a windshield for, like, some provinces like British Columbia, you can get a new windshield once a year for free. There is no hit to your insurance. But I'm like, why would you ever want to change it?
Yeah.
And then, like you talk about now with all these sensors.
We talked to a guy who replaces windshields, that's his full-time job, and he's like, I'll replace with glass for glass, no tint, no nothing on it, and it won't see through, or the ADAS won't see through it, or the forward-facing camera, and it's screwing it off. He's like, I had to go back to the factory Audi glass or whatever it was, and then you think about, oh, now I'm going to put a layer on top of that of some unknown material.
Right. Yeah, and so look, that's a very valid point. So, like, we've done a lot of extensive testing, obviously, as I said, started in 2014. It's 10 years later. There's lots of companies that launched theirs long before we did, and they're like, where's yours? And a lot of our customers were disappointed with us too. Like, guys, we're not ready. We're not comfortable. And yet here you are, you're watching this get done on a Tesla Model 3 right now. And, you know, and this is a factory, this is a company, this is a Tesla-owned vehicle here. So what we are wondering about is whether or not Tesla's going to want us to develop the pattern to cut out where the sensors are. And they may say that. It's up to them. We'd rather their engineering department come back to us with the distinction versus us trying to do it ourselves. What I can say to you is that, look, I've got, you know, a number of vehicles, including my Escalade still. I've still got my Blazer. I've still got, obviously, some of my hot rods. And I put that windshield film on all of them about 5.5 months ago. In the Escalade, I forget the feature, the self-driving features, Super Cruise.
Super Cruise.
And I tested at night on a 7-hour drive back from Oklahoma, and it was amazing. But I am never going to go on the record to say it does not interfere.
Yeah.
I need engineers to say that instead of us. What I can say is that this has been going on forever, and because we're so legendary already, as we know for the patterns. What people don't know is we knew this was coming up. We were making exterior windshield patterns for a long time now. And now we have to just, again, come back to the determination.
You're already scanning the vehicle anyway. Why not add the panel to it, right?
So it's not a scan. Like, there is companies that use this like magic, like literally looking digital scanner. It doesn't work. It's smoke and mirrors. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm sure I'm going to get some nasty email or something from one of these people that produces these things. Sorry, it's just a bone of contention. No. There's way more work involved by using that than doing it the way we do it. And we can't talk about that, unfortunately, because it's super proprietary. But at the end of the day, lots of exterior windshield patterns are done. What we'll have to come back to is whether or not we modify to have the cutout where the mirror is, where all those sensors are typically housed.
Now, how does that product deal with windshield wipers
on a dusty day when you hit it by accident?
No, great question. And like, no company out there should be declaring that it's no problem. That's not fair, because we don't know how much dust and
what your fallout is.
And what kind of dust.
Yeah.
I mean, guys, we know that sand is not the same in one place versus another. Sorry. And then on top of that, like, is it gravel versus sand? Yeah. Is it fine?
Is it pollen?
Right.
Yeah.
So what I can tell you is that, again, my daily driver, which is just a Chevy Blazer, well, not just a Chevy Blazer RS, I actually love the thing. I drive that vehicle in and out of work every day, rain, snow, and of course Texas, of course, quite dry. Get a lot of there's no snow, a lot of dust, and so what I've been doing is I've been using it daily. Now, I do have my vehicle. I have a membership through the drive-through car wash, right? But I know that water's not perfectly clean either. And so, I have, at this point, 5.5 months later, not seen any scratches that are not going away with heat, because it is a self-healing film to a certain extent, right? Remember that top coat only. Now, we also recommend with the customer when they get it, that they get a little bottle of what is a specific product made for the windshield film. I would call it almost like a ceramic boost, providing a little bit more slip, right? So that stuff would slide easier. The other thing is, of course, not applicable on electric, but on gas-powered vehicles, the smartest thing you do, regardless of what brand you're using, every time you fill up the car, as dirty as they are, grab the brush with the cleaning heads at the gas station, clean your windshield, squeegee it, spray the little slip, and most importantly, take your microfiber that we've given you and clean your wiper blade.
Oh, gotcha.
Right? And then you're going to get a lot more. Now, what I will tell you is that we provide a 1-year warranty with the film, but it doesn't cover scratches. None of the films cover scratches, but this is the one that we're content with.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's good. So I'm getting this again for small rock chips. The scratch in the film, yeah, it's a buzzkill, but really what I care about is having to change the windshield because the gravel truck in front of me kicked up stuff, which is literally my case, and I contend that it's happening all over the country. And just a gravel project that's going on in Southern California right now, they're building all new kinds of stuff, and it's just like you can hear tick, 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 and then like your home and your windshield driving in the sun, it looks like you're looking at the solar system. It's just all sparkly.
Well, it's because I went through a 70-mile-an-hour dust storm in Utah.
Oh, did you?
Oh, and it peppered. So it was on the way home from Michigan after I got the Expel done.
Really?
And I thought my whole Jeep's trashed.
Oh, I
There's
remember
nowhere to
this
go.
now.
And only my windshield glass was. Everything else on the Jeep was fine. The PPF saved my paint job.
So look, we had the Escalade when we were living in South Carolina, and I had the Blazer when we were living in South Carolina. And when we moved from South Carolina to San Antonio, was a nice 3-day drive. Both windshields left perfect. By the time we got to San Antonio, both windshields had stone chips and cracks, and we had to replace both of them. And we didn't have our windshield protection film out yet, so that's why they weren't protected. Now they're protected.
Yeah.
So now I won't have to worry about it anymore. And I'm really disappointed. Like I said, my Escalade, which is not an inexpensive machine, right? It's $120,000, has now got a windshield replacement. Yes, I made sure it was a factory windshield, but it doesn't change anything. That original seal is broken.
Yep.
It'll never be the same.
Yep.
So tell us where our listeners go to have this done. Any XPEL dealer?
So no, and yes. So what do I mean by that, right? Well, our dealer locator, which is something that we encouraged your customers to do or your listeners to do before, our locator is changing now so that you'll be able to see the distinction with whether or not this shop is a windshield protection film shop also. I don't know if that's up and live this week, but if it's not, it will be very shortly. And then we will identify the shops that are in fact participating. The other reality is that a lot of our customers are saying, hey, are you going to limit this to the exclusive shops? And that is something we're considering right now. It's like, well, this is a really monumental product. We know that this is going to have a really big impact in terms of revenue generation and things of that nature. And of course, at the end of the day, it's an amazing product for the consumer, but maybe we should be more mindful, right, of our true partners, which are the ones that are exclusively with us.
Fair enough.
We're really excited.
Dude,
This is cool.
This is awesome. Thank you for
groundbreaking.
taking the time, because you have been one busy guy this week. So
No, I'm really
glad we
sorry
did.
too. I apologize, but yes, SEMA for me is the show. I kind of am anticipated to run the show for SEMA for XPEL, and I take that task very seriously, which is why I lost my voice for 2 days in a row, and I'm sure it will be gone again this day.
Sounds great right now.
Currently, I'm not quite sounding like I'm going through puberty again at 53.
Well, we're fans of yours and the brand, so thank you.
Thank you. Look, now let's get the vehicles done with the windshield protection film for you guys so that you guys can do a follow-up review on it as well.
Hey, sign me up.
Done.
Boom.
Get them both done.
Braxton, thanks for having us in the booth.
I already stared touching his treadmill. I feel bad about it.
Wait, don't do that yet. Yeah,
What,
so
touch his treadmill?
We're in the Way Safe booth. Now,
Yes.
we walked by the last couple years ago. Now's finally the time we need to talk to you. So first off, explain what your attraction here is. You've got a little treadmill, a flat treadmill with two vehicles, a truck pulling a trailer with a little, like a Mercedes in the trailer. And this is to show people what?
The importance of good tongue weight versus bad tongue weight.
Yep.
So with our product, we have a built-in scale that measures tongue weight. So this is a representation as you're going down the road. You experience different elements like big gusts of wind. You pass a semi, they have this thing called truck suck, where your whole thing your whole truck and trailer move right into them. Well, if you have bad tongue weight, all it takes is just a little bit of movement, and that trailer starts to sway.
And we're watching it. So it's just like the video you guys have seen online, where they adjust the weight in the trailer of the model truck, and it's all over the place. And we talk about proper towing all the time. So a lot of people, they overload the trailer, number one.
Big time.
And then they overload it either rearward or forward. Both are bad, by the way.
Even better,
because one presses down to where you lose steering and you lose, lightness in the front end.
Yeah.
And if it's weighted the other way, you get trailer sway, just like you're saying. I mean, there's all sorts of ways that trailer towing can go bad.
It's so true. And I actually had a personal experience. I was getting ready to sell a truck, and a construction truck was coming past our building, and the rear tire actually sheared off all the lug nuts, and the tire hit the back of my truck.
Oh, whoa.
So I wasn't able to sell it. Anyway, long story short, the reason why that happened was because they had too much weight on the rear axle of their towing vehicle, so it causes extra wear and tear. And so knowing where your tongue weight is so vitally important. We actually have a couple things here in our booth. Obviously the treadmill, but we also have a towing simulator in our booth to come check out. So
Yeah, I'm watching this guy sitting over there. It looks like it would be a racing video game, right?
yeah, so you can actually see it
There
up
we
here
go.
on our screen.
Let's walk over here.
This is awesome. So normally the simulators here are like a dude bombing a Raptor across the desert, or it's like GT4 or 5, whatever. They're taking
Pikes Peak.
a
I've seen
GTR at
that. Yeah,
Pikes
okay, yeah.
Peak.
Uh-huh.
Your simulator is a dude towing. It looks like in Arizona
Yeah,
or
in
something like
Moab.
that.
Yeah,
okay.
on the way. Yeah, we're from
Utah.
Utah. So,
Okay, yeah.
So we wanted to keep it local to us. So
Yeah.
So yeah, they're towing. You'll have two experiences. You'll have one experience with bad tongue weight, and then one with good tongue weight. The objective is just to get to the end of the road, and you have to go through all the different checkpoints. And with this one, as you can see, he's going 50 miles an
struggling.
hour, and he's already starting to sway.
Yeah. Now, he doesn't know at this point he should just pin it and straighten it out. So a lot of people go get into the situation, they slam on the brakes, and they change the weight distribution even further,
just wrecked.
rather than trying to pull the trailer out of it and then resetting your speed, because they
Right.
think going faster, more velocity isn't the answer, but you have to take that momentum and you've got to push it all in the same direction again.
Yes, and another way to get out of trailer sway is to just tap your trailer brakes, slow down. The biggest reason is people are just going way too fast with not enough tongue weight.
That's where you come in with Way Safe.
So
Explain.
where did this idea come from? I get it. We're talking about, but this specific idea, your
Yeah.
product? How did you decide this product is going to save people's lives?
So back in 2012, there were two business partners. One was an engineer, one had business knowledge, and the engineer was like, we have to figure out a way. Everyone in the industry is talking about tongue weight, the importance of tongue weight. Well, let's see if we can figure out a way to incorporate it into a trailer hitch. So 2013 was our very first SEMA. And we launched it as a new product and won new innovation of the year. Back when there wasn't even a truck and off-road area, it was all just tools and accessories. So that was our very first initiative, and ever since then we've come so far, and we're continuing to grow and develop in multiple different ways. Not only in like ball mounts, but we have gooseneck, we have off-roading opportunities, and we have this thing that's called the clamshell. It's a 2-inch to 2 5/16" converter. Super slick.
Well, let's walk over to the wall. And,
Yeah,
and show us to it.
let's explain the main product, which is a scale that's built inside your hitch, and I'm assuming that the scale part is underneath the ball.
Yep. So underneath the tow ball, you'll have a piston. Underneath the piston is a bed of hydraulic fluid, and that's what pressurizes the gauge. And our gauge is new version. It's all glycerin filled and super robust.
Now, here's the other thing, is every truck has a different payload or a different tongue weight. So you have to know what your manufacturer recommends for your trailering, and usually tongue weight's somewhere around 10%, but not always exactly that. And so you have to, as a consumer, know what the target is, but this will get you to that, because it's not one size fits all.
Yes. Yeah, and so we have different sizes of trailer hitches, whether it's a 2-inch receiver, 2.5-inch receiver, 3-inch receiver. Every truck manufacturer does something a little bit different. So knowing the specs on your truck is so crucial, and making sure that your trailer also, you know how much your trailer can hold. Because if you overload your trailer, then you're having problems with bearings going out, and you're having to change tires frequently, and there's a lot of things that just go right.
I wonder how many people don't have a clue about either. They just don't know the weight. They bought a truck, they just drove it off the lot. They bought a trailer.
Well,
at
then
the
you have
trailer
people
shop.
who they think the trailer should be level, or the trailer should be weighted in the back. It's actually a little tiny bit front down, right? I mean, when you're towing, as long as that lines up with your tongue weight, you want to have the weight a little tiny bit more forward than you do over the rear axle, where you get that big lever arm kind of moving out.
Absolutely, and you want to make it as level as possible is ideal. But if you do, and having it just a little bit on the nose end side, that's totally fine. Like it just helps it without having that trailer sway.
How accurate are these?
Yeah.
And are there different scales for different applications?
So one scale on all of our new products, one scale. So instead of having like a ratio or for every single drawbar or drop that we have, it's just one scale. And what you'll do is you'll take the gross trailer weight. So if you have a 6,000 pound trailer, 3,000 pound car, 9,000 pound gross together, and then you have your tongue weight should be anywhere from 900 pounds to 1,200 pounds worth of tongue weight. So you kind of have to do a little bit of due diligence of knowing what your weights
your
are.
vehicle,
Exactly. So.
Yeah, every vehicle is going to be a little bit different, and some, especially the coil-sprung vehicles, will be a little more susceptible than a leaf-sprung vehicle. And part of that is with the leaf springs in the rear, you have more lateral stability versus a coil spring, which you can have a little bit more sway at the heavier weights. And so every truck's going to be a little bit different. One's not necessarily better than the other, because some excel in some places like ride comfort and handling. Some are better at towing a load, but might suffer in other places. So it's, to your point, crucial to know what your truck is, how it's set up, and how to understand the numbers so that you can take advantage of basically a product like this, but it's really a tool.
It really is.
So looking at the wall over here, you've got several different finishes, or these different, take us through from left to right, just overview, 10,000 foot view. You've got some matte black finishes here. They're all various drop hitches, so these they look like you can flip upside down, so you have two different size balls.
We're known for our aluminum finish. So we're an aluminum manufacturer, as well as we do manufacture steel, but aluminum's our biggest ticket item. And then stainless steel toe balls, stainless steel even on the regular steel that's powder coated. We do make an aluminum that is black Cerakoted. So we use a Cerakote, not a powder coating on our aluminum stuff. We have a light duty steel We also have a heavy-duty steel. It's our 180 Pro. It actually just got launched earlier this year. Super awesome. Has a 2-inch receiver right in the middle of it, so you can have cargo bed or motorcycle rack on there, bike rack, just about anything. We have goosenecks. But yeah, aluminum and stainless steel is our bread and butter. Doesn't rust and looks fresh all the time.
Yeah, I'm looking at the weight distributing hitch there that
Yeah,
also
come on.
has your weight incorporated in it, which is really cool.
Oh man! So our weight distribution is top of the line when it comes to weight distribution. One, it has our built-in scale that measures tongue weight, has a 4-area anti-sway system, has a lead screw that is what we call the live adjustment. So I don't know if any people have ever experienced, weight distribution hitches before, but with our weight distribution hitch, it can be all set up and you adjust it on the fly.
Okay.
You don't have to take it off. You don't have to, swap washers or readjust. It's all done, all put together, and the very last thing, you just clamp it all together, and it works like a dream. I've used it myself personally, and it's just incredible.
So where do people go if they want to find out more about how to tow safely?
Weigh-safe.com, and that's WEIGH-SAFE.com.
Do you sell direct, or do we need to go through a 4-wheel parts or off-road warehouse, something like that?
We have dealers all over the country, as well as distributors. So 4-wheel parts, I could name all of them and go through the whole list.
Can I buy one from weigh-safe.com?
Absolutely.
Oh, great.
Yep.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for the intel.
All right, so here we are on the SEMA show floor, and then Lightning had a fanboy moment. And he's
As
like,
I do.
Oh my gosh, Jake McKinney's Jake McKinney. I'm like, dude, we talked to him before. We know him. No, we have to talk to him now.
There's never too much fat fabs on our show.
That's right. You can't have too much fat fabs.
What's going on? How's your SEMA?
Oh, that's pretty good.
How many vehicles are here?
I think we have 7.
Okay, wow.
Dang.
Not a little bit short from last year. I think we had 8 or 9 last year, but still enough.
What's the breaking point? How many vehicles break the shop?
We've had 12 here before.
Really? Okay.
I didn't like it, but we had 12 here.
Which one are you most proud of, and tell us about it?
The 66 Lincoln Continental.
Oh, dude,
that's
sick.
It's a year build, which is really long for us. We usually like to knock them out a lot quicker than that, but I know that's not a truck. But we did bring out another brand new dually that hauled here. So, and we were having troubles with a little bit of the DEF system on the one last year.
Was that the white one?
The white one, yeah.
Okay.
White one with black wheels.
Yeah.
And it has those super sweet weights on it.
Yeah, I saw that. I wasn't going to bust you on the weights on the outside.
Oh, you should.
Like, who, why, how did that happen?
We drive them, obviously. There's rock chips in the front of that truck. So I take ride quality, ride comfort over anything, over any type of aesthetic. So
Should we introduce you to our friends at Expel?
I don't know what Expel is, but sure.
Paint protection film so you don't get rock chips.
Oh, no. Yeah, I'm fine with the rock chips. those are battle scars to me.
That's right.
So. But yeah, we drive them. So, I'll take those weights on the wheel any day. That way it's a smooth ride hauling that trailer out here with that Lincoln in it. So I don't like the wheel weights. I'm not a fan of them, never been a fan of them. But other than that, I mean, we drive them, we haul with them. They get used, and I'll take that. If that's all you can find to hate on one of our trucks, I'll take it any day.
It's a gorgeous truck, and that dually, what year is it?
It's a 24.
It's a 24. Okay.
24. And then we color change that interior. I don't know if you noticed that peanut butter interior. And we try to emulate a supercar in that truck.
Yeah.
So we did the suede headliner and the suede floors. If nobody really pays attention to the floor, but there is suede on the floors with those leather floor mats over them. But,
Holy mackerel. So you said you were having DEF problems coming out here?
on the last truck. That's the
last
black
truck.
one from
Yeah,
last
yeah.
year we did. But this one, we corrected a few mistakes that we made on the last DEF system.
I think we talked about that on the show
We
where we
did.
had to cut it and make sure
Yes.
that the sensor lake distance and all
so
that stuff.
on this
Yeah.
truck, we ended up keeping everything in the stock location.
Yeah.
We didn't modify a damn thing other than, within a few inches of
Yeah,
where
yeah.
it goes.
You're
on.
talking about the DPF.
DPF. DEF system, DPF, particulate filter, all that. So everything went back on this truck exactly the way it came. We didn't extend any wires on that system, and the truck drove great. So
How did you fit it? Did you have to tuck it up, or does it not hang below the frame rails?
we're cutting the floor on the truck to get all that to fit stuff.
So you raised the floor up.
Yep.
Oh my God.
And in certain sections, we raised it up to keep all that stuff underneath it.
Yeah.
Cutting the wiper cowl. We almost lost windshield wipers to keep that catalytic converter underneath the wiper cowl.
yeah.
So it's a lot of work, but super proud of the guys of making that happen and being able to drive that truck 1,100
And
miles
now you
out
got the
here.
recipe for a couple years on them.
That's right. Well, as of October 17th, you can no longer order a two-wheel drive Chevrolet pickup. Dually, sorry, in the higher end. You can order the work
okay.
trucks, but nobody
not-
wants a work truck
yeah.
in a truck like that. So we've got one on the property, a 25 already on the property, and we've got the second one on order. It's all I could afford to get on the property at the moment. So we'll at least have 2 more up our sleeve.
What happened? What do you do when they all go 4-wheel drive?
Bad for business. I mean,
Yeah.
I won't touch them.
Yeah.
I don't want any lights on the dash. So at that point, we stop.
Gotcha.
Well, that's sad.
I don't want
You
to.
didn't think
I don't
you
want
were
to
gonna be bummed out, did you?
It is sad. But other than that, so we'll have 2 more dualies. I did have 3 sets of 30s in stock. We burned one on this truck. We have the other one on the property, and we'll have one more that comes in early next year. So we'll try to have the first 25 ready for LST in February, and then we'll debut the last one here at SEMA next year.
All right, so if we get out to LST, we'll do
Here we
another one of
go.
these
Here we
interviews.
go. More empty promises from lighting.
Tell me we're going to see more content on the YouTube channel.
Oh, it's full blown. It's going.
Okay.
We brought our video guy here with us, so we're documenting the whole
You know,
SEMA.
he looks like a video
experience.
guy. You know how I can tell? Because he's holding a camera.
Oh, that's all.
Yeah.
Well, in the way he looks.
No, I'm going to pull this back on him. Hold on. There he is.
Yeah. There's the video guy. Ah!
All right, you're the man, Jake.
Appreciate you. Thanks,
Hey,
guys.
good to
have a
see
good
you.
show.
Happy SEMA.
Later.
Take care. Good seeing you guys.
Fat Fabs in the house. Senor Gary Bell, how you doing?
Oh, I'm tired. It's been a long show.
Yeah,
You know, it's funny.
Wait, hold it. We're only halfway through.
The last time we saw you, we were in a little tiny shed in the backyard, and today we're in like a big ass booth filled with electronics here at SEMA.
A lot more people here.
But I'm just as tired.
Can't fit this many people in your backyard.
No. Well.
So we are in the Stinger Define Your Drive booth right here, and you've got a lot of new products on the walls. We've got a Jeep JL sitting right here. Tell us, man, I don't even know where to start.
There's too much new stuff. I think the biggest, no pun intended, biggest thing here is in the dash of the Jeep. So
I just went and played with it while Lightning was talking to everybody.
I told
Well,
you.
he's not
It's
talking about
nice.
the stereo. That's something else.
Oh, come on.
That's
now.
never going to be in my Jeep.
It was the stereo. What'd you think?
It's awesome.
Well, I haven't
Yeah.
seen it. Walk over.
Super,
Yeah, okay.
super clear, high definition screen. It's to be honest, it's less obtrusive than I thought it might be. Right for the size.
That's everyone's reaction. You would not think that a almost 13-inch screen would
Yeah.
look as OEM, as factory as this looks in the dash, and like we were super excited. Everybody that doubted, we had a lot of internal
Yeah.
team that was like, I don't know, it's going to be
Pretty
too
big.
I know that was your
Yeah, it
initial
was
reaction,
mine, yeah.
and but when you see it in there, it's like, oh my gosh, that's perfect.
Yeah.
Like it looks like it came that way, and just the added functionality and the sound benefits are awesome. Built-in AKM DSP. We were talking a lot about DSP when we did the podcast. Built-in AKM DSP, 8 channels of clean 4-volt output from the radio, time alignment for 8 channels, 15-band
Wow.
EQ, wireless CarPlay, all the stuff you'd want, and in an automotive-grade unit. It's not like you
Now-
slapped a tablet up on the dash and tried to make it a radio.
Is it fairly plug and play? Is it fairly straightforward install wise?
We have specific vehicle applications like this that comes with the plastics, comes
Yep.
with all of the integration of the vehicle, so you maintain all the sensors. If you had, this is more your world than mine, but the steering angle and all that
Right.
stuff that came up on an
That
OEM
matters,
screen
yeah.
still comes up.
What
Yeah.
about running factory speakers? Will it run the factory
It'll
speakers?
run the factory speakers, plugs right in.
Is there a
plays.
higher output on this unit, or
So-
using stock amp?
If you're using the stock amp, the power's basically the same. You're
Okay.
going to feed a little more signal, so it'll liven it up a
Okay.
little bit. But it also still has the clean output. It has the Toslink fiber optic output.
Does it
if you're
end at
running-
36 on volume when you want it to be just at 38?
This one definitely goes to 11. Yeah, so that's totally cool. It also has built-in accessory control to control lighting, and I don't know. It's just too much.
Yeah, a lot of stuff.
I can't even remember everything it does. now.
What is the code name of this unit?
It will be Horizon 12.
Horizon
We have
12.
too many models now.
Yeah, I know.
So Horizon 10 was the radio we just launched. This will launch. It'll be available Q1, so early January.
Does this supplement the 10, or does it replace the 10?
Well, no, it'll supplement.
Okay,
it's
so
it's
you-
an addition. You have options.
Got
Again,
it.
this is going to cost more. It's
Yeah.
It's obviously a really high quality, big screen, but the functionality is very similar. This one, there's no volume knob on the unit itself, but it does utilize the factory volume control. Still works. Plus the touchscreen ability. The other cool part for the guys that are into custom stuff is that there will be a standalone kit where you can get just the monitor with the brain and a separate volume knob. So you're building something custom, you want to put it in a hot rod, put it in the console, something like that, and you can have your kind of, at your fingertip
that's
button.
cool. I actually think it's better without the knob, because for any of the Wrangler owners, you know that the knob is integrated into the dash. And the number one thing I hate is an upgrade that renders inoperable buttons and switches that exist. I
Right.
hate that.
Yep.
So the fact that it's kind of a double-edged deal, right? You don't have the knob. I can use my factory volume control, or to your point,
You
you can add a knob and put in anything else that you want. That's huge.
Right. Yep. And the accessory control right from the radio. Obviously you have some auxiliary switches here already, but it just expands that.
Fantastic. Okay, so again, this is coming out in Q1.
Yeah, it'll be January. We're shooting for the end of the year, but you know how that goes.
Okay.
We'll be a couple weeks late, so it'll be January.
All right. And do they
Well,
have?
by the time this podcast comes out with all of our SEMA content, it should be right about the time
Right
you
about
launch.
the time.
do you have a projected price yet?
I do. The full kit with all the plastics, all the integration stuff, $16.99.
Oh, that's not
and
bad at all.
The standalone kit for just the radio will be $12.99.
I honestly thought it would have a number closer to 2.
Yeah, cool.
So that's not bad at all.
Cool, yeah.
Especially for what you're getting with the DSP and all the feature. I mean, that thing is super feature rich.
Yep. Yeah, it's.
Is it easy for the average person to dial in the digital signal processor?
So you get the EQ. So some people might struggle a little with the time delay aspect of it.
But if they know you can just come to their podcast chat with a driveway and set that up for them, right?
We might be able to make that happen for you. We could definitely bring the mics.
I wasn't talking about me. I enjoyed that process.
Oh, I was talking about me. You don't have a Jeep.
No, that's true.
Yeah.
I'll come over. I'll do it. I'm pretty good at that, actually.
Cool.
Except for
what else is new?
Wait, hold on. He says he's good at it, yet he's like, my TRX battery only lasts about 9 days before my
That's a
thing.
totally different
And I'm like,
issue.
what kind of draw have you introduced into that thing?
That's my CB radio or my GMRS or something like that.
Yep.
It's not my stereo.
Sure.
Yeah. So other new stuff we're showing in our pack line. We were talking about those Amp Pro interfaces that grab clean digital signal between a factory radio and a factory amplifier. We finally have it coming out again in about January for newer GM. That's been a really tough system to crack, and there are multiple variations. So what we did is we took the harnessing for every variation, we put it in the box. So just a really cool addition that everybody's been waiting and waiting and waiting for the last 2.5 years for, and it's finally here. Also, newer Toyota, we have that interface for. So any of the new Tundra, newer Tacoma.
That's a big deal. A lot of those guys have been waiting.
Yeah, and a lot of the commuter cars too. We forget that a lot of guys upgrade audio in commuter cars because they spend a lot of time in them. Sales guys, that kind of stuff. So it does fit the the new hybrid Camry and those sorts of things. We have it in my Prius.
Prius, I was going to ask.
I'm validating it in my Prius as we speak, and so.
Isn't that funny that manufacturers here's a cheap car, but they think you don't want to have the one thing you want is good sound.
Right.
I want AC and a decent radio. That's what I want in my commuter.
Yeah, that's the other side too. Is that you would think they would spend more on the sound deadening and the sound treatment, just the noise, harmonics, vibration guys. You think they would do a better job in those cars that people are, commuting, hundreds of miles a weekend. And hey, that's why the aftermarket exists. That's why we're
job
here.
Security.
Roadkill.
You're glad that they cut costs.
Right, yeah. Well, it definitely gives people a nice lower entry point to get into a car, and then you can always upgrade and add to it. So I think that's why we like to tinker.
All right, can we end this interview so I can play with the screen?
I'd rather not. I mean, what else do you have in the booth?
So Raceport Lighting has a bunch of new product. We're also tying that in. So the Enlighten app that runs on the radio is full control for RGB lighting. So you can change the lighting colors. A lot of these modules have triggers for, we were just talking about, you could integrate it so you got a golf cart and you got lights all over it, and you could put the turn signal on if you take it out, and you can make the whole left side flash when the turn signal comes on.
You're talking to a guy with a golf cart.
I was just going to say.
Yeah, you can do that. We can do it on the Jeeps, the wheel lights, that kind of stuff.
Gary Bell looks kind of like Santa Claus to both of us right now, doesn't he?
Yep.
He's got the beard.
He's got the beard, yeah.
I should have worn red. What else do we have? Some really cool stuff that I might have to grab somebody to explain to you, but.
Yeah, see the GM towing stuff over there?
Can we hang on for a second?
Or do you want to do audio control first?
Yeah, we'll do audio control
All right,
first.
let's walk around behind.
So we just spent a whole bunch of time talking about the new altitude amplifiers. Again, we were showing them. You were one of the first ones to see them live and in person, but they're here at the show on display, along with the Epic amplifiers that are they're the bass pounders made to go with Epicenter. They have this cool link cable that the Epicenter powers right from the amplifier. Usually when guys add a sound processor, they're just stripping those wires back and jamming them into the power input of the amplifier. It's not clean, it's not cool. This new wiring setup makes it super clean, super easy, mates them together. That's the audio control stuff. I mean, that was a huge year for us to come out with 2 full lines of amplifiers, 2 new lines of amplifiers.
And go back to that episode if you missed it, because we talk about it in depth. Okay, that's audio control. All right, Holman, I found Tony, who's going to tell us about this IntelliHall 3.0, which It seems to be all the buzz around here.
So here's what's cool is on the GM trucks, they have the capability for adding multiple cameras where you can add them in front of your trailer, behind the trailer, and stitch all that together. But then you have to find all the cameras aftermarket. I'm assuming you guys have a way of tapping into that system and making more visibility for the driver?
Yeah, so back in 2015, General Motors reached out to us and said, hey, we want you guys to build us a product.
Okay.
What that entailed was they provided the CAD for the mirrors, and we did the interfacing, and we put our cameras on the mirrors and tapped into the CAN bus system, brought it all to life with a graphical user interface on the screen, and it made it a seamless, once installed system. Was the customer had no idea it was aftermarket.
Yeah.
So not only does it add turn signal mirror style cameras, it has a user interface where you can do split screen, multi-screen, you can force your front camera with logic, and then you also have a wireless camera that goes on the back of the trailer that you can you can utilize at any time.
So that's awesome, because when they originally had said, hey, we've got the ability for all these camera views, but the truck didn't come with all those. And so to have you guys be able to tap into that and make all those camera views, especially for the guys who are out towing and fleet, getting the cameras behind the trailer. And I know, there's some struggles with a few of the manufacturers because some of the original ones were wireless, but if you got a long trailer, it didn't really work really well. And I feel like in the last 3 or 4 years, the camera technology for the OE interface have gotten a lot better.
So our initial wireless technology was that it was a little bit lackluster at speed. Since then, we've been daily going and trying to improve and look for new chipsets and things of that nature to where we can put we've put a semi-truck in between where the receiver and the transmitter is and still get 3 bars on the camera.
That's awesome.
It really is much better. We've done it at 20 miles an hour, we've done it at 90 miles an hour. And while nobody really should be towing at 90, we know sometimes.
Yeah, do testing for science.
Texas 90 with 3 trailers.
There you go.
I've seen it. So you're with Stinger Commercial. Now, does that mean that you need to have this installed, or it's strictly for commercial, or can I buy this as a consumer?
So these products originally started out, like I said, General Motors came to us, so it started out as a General Motor accessory, and then we give them 1 year exclusivity, and then after that we release it to the aftermarket. So we have the exact same products for the aftermarket as well as for the commercial/OEM division.
So where do you go as a customer to buy that from the commercial side? Is there a special commercial website or something like that?
So while we do have specific commercial websites, since it is offered to the retail, it's offered under the EchoMaster brand.
Okay.
So EchoMaster is under the Stinger umbrella. If you go to the EchoMaster, so anybody that sells any of the Stinger products, so whether it's PAC, whether it's Race Sport Lighting, Stinger, EchoMaster, if they sell one, they can get it all.
Okay.
So on our websites, so stingersolutions.com or echomaster.com.
Everything's linked, right?
It's linked, and not only that, there's dealer locators. So you can literally go to the website, enter your zip code, and get a list of dealers in the area. And then if you've ever been driving down the street and you see your favorite local car stereo shop and you see the Stinger logo in the window, they can get it for you.
Awesome.
Great. And what years does it cover?
So we have generations 1, 2, and 3. So generations 1 was from 14 to 18. And then generation 2 stepped from 480p cameras to 720p cameras. And this covers from 19 to 22 and a half. Which is 22 and a half for light duties. They did a mid-year refresh. So in 22 and a half to present and 24 heavy duties to present, we now switch to a 1080p full digital camera. With every iteration of this system, we jump resolution of cameras to make sure that the user experience is just, we're staying with today's technology.
Yeah, basically you're matching what GM's offering on the screen on the inside too, because there's no sense in having a really high quality camera if the screen technology isn't very high definition.
So with Generation 1, we met their specifications. Mm-hmm. For Generation 2, our cameras were better than their cameras. And with Generation 3, because they utilize wide range cameras for their 360 style cameras, once you crop that and then blow it back up on the screen, the resolution lacks a little bit. So with us, we are still, when you pop our camera on versus the factory, a lot of times everybody's like, wow, that is so much clearer. If you are driving with your front camera on, you can see the grain in the road from the asphalt.
While you're moving.
While you're moving. It's insane how crystal clear it is. It's 60 frames per second, so there's no botching, there's no refresh. Everything is, it's so smooth.
Awesome.
Wow, congratulations.
Thank you.
Awesome. Good work. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Yeah, absolutely.
And rolling into the Co-Chemi booth with our buddy Casey once again. Welcome to the show again.
Welcome. So excited.
Now we're in your backyard.
There we go. Here we are. And got a few new items we're debuting today. So at the show, we've had a great turnout. This gorgeous GT3 RS in the booth. Been a lot of great vibes, positive feedback on current products. Moving forward, we have some new items that we're showing.
Wait, hold on.
He just glazes past a GT.
No, hold on. Which one of these products removes the spooge coming out of Lightning for that Porsche GT3? Do you have anything like that?
A little bit of everything, but we won't get into that topic right now.
The interior stains. What's the inside care?
I don't have
right there.
First of all, with our color lock right here, branding, we have our collab since we procured color lock last year. Now, first co-branded item here will be our textile treatment. So this right here will give you a sealant for softer textiles in the interior, water resistant to where you can have a longer durability for when Lightning is around certain vehicles.
What about blood stains?
Well, I wasn't even thinking about blood, but
so all these items are starting. They're going to be flowing and coming out here, let's say, in the next few months. But we do have a textile sealant in the pipeline. Moving through the line, we do also in our shampoos. We're going to be coming out with ceramic effect shampoo. So this will be helping out with stacking on top of protecting layers, meaning whether it's a ceramic coated vehicle, PPF, any of those, this is our longest durability out of one bottle. So it's designed to be able to be a topper, more of your sacrificial barrier that we talked about in the past, but to give you a little added protection upon the vehicle that can be done in quarterly maintenance, let's say, type style. This also will be best applied old school bucket wash. This will work great, so you don't need to have a foam cannon, pressure washer, etc. This is something you can apply old school.
Hold on a second. Don't talk them out of. I just spent an entire episode trying to tell people to get a foam cannon. They're cheap, even if they get a crappy foam cannon.
By the way,
it still
I got a
changes the
foam
game.
cannon. I got the Amazon one that came highly recommended.
Yeah.
And you gave me that little vial of gold.
Super foam, yeah.
And I put that in there. Yeah, that stuff was that was
awesome.
happy. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, the reason why I just mentioned that is because this doesn't have the foaming agents to it. In a lot of cases, I mean, it can be applied with a foam cannon, but it doesn't have that shaving cream look. So the satisfaction of seeing something come out of a cannon, I don't want it to be misleading. But you can apply it in any realm.
Got it.
Going over to our upcoming Hydroplast Care. What this is a water-based protectant, so it has a lot of versatility. You can dilute it for different areas of the car. I can use it full strength, let's say on tires. Right. I can dilute it down 1 to 5 type of scenario to where I can do plastic trim or even further for door panels. So any plastic area you have, you can use this on there.
What about plastic that's starting to fade or UV? Is that still a good product?
It'll be a shorter term. Our actual PSS, a different product, is designed to give more restoration and almost looks like it's ceramic coated when it cures.
Got it.
But this is a great interim for if a technician or even a person at home runs out of something like that. This is so versatile, it can cover all the different touch points. Going into ceramic coatings, we've had ceramic coating out for a while. We're debuting 2 different models. One would be ceramic body, true 9H coating, 3-year plus style warranty, meaning it's great for 3 years. Using it in combination of the acronym CES for ceramic effect shampoo will make it last even longer. So that's why they accompany each other at the show. Ceramic rims. Main thing we have different between the two of these is the formulations are specific for those parts of the car because of the temperature range on the wheels.
And also, I'm sure, contamination.
Yes. To where this is giving a durable layer on the outside to where it will work with, let's say, our magic wheel cleaner to pull the contaminants off. But this also comes with some unique applicators, which we have on the shelf over there that are almost like, they look like mini paint brushes, but they have suede on them. The nice thing about that, going back to the reference vehicle behind us, the GT3 RS has these magnesium wheels. Our indexing for wheels is red, so these red wheels complement our products, but also the machining and all the hollow points, it's easier to apply ceramic coating instead of being SpongeBob with crinkled up hands trying to coat a wheel.
Well, and wasting a lot of product as well, right? Trying to get it in there.
Yep. And both these are 30 mil bottles, so they'll last more than one car in normal applications. It all depends on the size of the vehicle and how much glass there is, etc. But they're both there to give you additional protection from the elements, bird droppings, all the things that are acidic that are out there. And, we're getting phenomenal feedback. Accessories, we have new pump sprayers that are also color indexed per chemical because each chemical attacks O-rings and different internals differently. So red will be able to handle acid for the wheels, yellow's our shampoo, and green will be alkaline, so it flows directly with the family of products.
So those are geared more towards the professional. I don't think your average Joe would have those in his garage, or would they?
Well, honestly, as of lately, because, I would say average Joes are turning into prosumers, and prosumers are really stepping up their arsenal. And for, a pump sprayer will boost your efficiency, and they're only $39. I mean, it's not really breaking the bank, but like if I'm doing a set of wheels, you guys talk trucks.
Oh, yeah.
So big truck wheels, I get 35, 37s, and 40s, and I'm using alkaline wheel cleaner. I'd rather have it a pump sprayer than using a trigger and wearing
And I'll tell you,
out.
it takes a long time, and you start getting the cramp in your hand.
Yeah, and you're
Just do it.
switching hands,
Yeah.
so this one right here, you're just pumping it up around 20 times. You can lay up the whole sidewall.
Sign me up.
Yeah, and it'll give you that both the ease of use, but also then a larger coverage.
So you're pressurizing it with a couple of pumps and then just
Then you hold the trigger down, and it's going to lay it up onto the tire for you, as an example. Yep. And when you go even, we have the keg ones that are larger for more of the. I'd say that's more pro. Meaning, again, Joe can use it's 1.5 liters, so it'll handle a good amount of coverage on a vehicle for the wheels, tires. It's 2 liter for the soap. So if somebody we're getting into winter's around the corner, we do have a rapid rinseless wash, which can be used in our pump sprayer so people can wash their cars indoors and maintain it before maybe a Sunday drive or something.
Sure, yeah.
So a lot, we're trying to be ahead of the curve when it comes to seasonality.
Awesome. Well,
appreciate you guys coming on by.
You were busy. You're just with us like a couple months ago or whatever it was now, and we didn't think we'd have like an entire new product lineup for us to enjoy here at SEMA.
Yeah, well, and we're going to continue on having some fun because as these land, we'll be sure to stop them by so you guys can see them firsthand.
Awesome.
Where can everyone go to see these new products?
New products are available at our detailing distributors throughout the United States. You can go to kcxusa.com. We'll have a lot of information as well.
kcxusa.com.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Casey, but not Casey. X.
No, our Casey, not
yeah.
their
Anyway,
Casey.
CASEY Casey.
Yeah.
Not KC.
All right. See you later. Thanks. All right. So here I am. I'm going to get loose with Mark Bruce here in the Red Arc van. Normally, when a grown man asks me to get in a van with him, I always say no, 100%. But you're a charmer.
Yeah, thank you, Sean. I'm really honored to be here today. Thank you.
All right, so we're walking around SEMA. We've talked about Red Arc before. It's one of my favorite companies that come out of Australia. They make some of the best battery and electronic management systems. I've used them on multiple builds. My 392, my old Wrangler, had what they call the BCDC. So it basically allows me to either charge my house batteries, my battery system that's separate from my starting battery that runs all my fridge and accessories, lights, air compressor, radios, all that stuff, either through my alternator or with a Anderson SB50 connector through a solar panel. I've used your solar panels, and I've got your inverter, which runs my Starlink and everything else. Yeah, so I'm a fanboy of Red Arc. You guys make great stuff.
Preaching to the converted here. This is great, man. Sure.
Well, it's before you guys came along into the U.S., which has probably been about, 5 years-ish?
Yeah, maybe a little bit longer than that, so yeah.
But before you kind of made a full court press here, we would go to the marine supply store and we would piecemeal a lot of different electronics together that were,
complicated.
Complicated, made for a boat, which is good for off-roading because of obviously vibration, water resistance, dust. But they weren't necessarily all designed to work together in the fashion we were doing. Red Arc comes along, and you guys have a whole ecosystem of product.
Absolutely. None more so than our latest edition, the BCDC Alpha. And I'm telling you.
So I saw it, and I was upset with you guys only because I have been asking for this. You guys basically take your Red Vision and the BCDC and merge them into a middle-of-the-road product for people who want more functionality and understanding how their battery system is working, but maybe doesn't need all the vision management that you do with the Red Vision.
Yeah, okay. So let's think about the BCDC Alpha is an enhanced model from our previous models, right? So we've listened to our customers and what they want. So we still have a DC to DC charging algorithm from 25 and 50 amp models. We still have a maximum power point tracking solar regulator, but now we've done a few extra things. We now include bolt-down terminal connections rather than the fly lead.
So that's awesome because you guys have forced me, because I've installed so many of these. I went and got all the electronic tools, from the soldering iron to the strippers to the crimpers to put it all together. And this is like, so easy.
So neat, right? So we've listened to the customers. We have we supply a temperature probe with the kit. We have the same number of charging algorithms, but we've added a couple. We have the normal lead acid versions. We have lithium and heated lithium profiles now. No longer do you program your battery type by the way that you connect your wires.
Yeah.
We now have a push button control switch here that allows you to control it via the switch, or with the included Bluetooth chip inbuilt, you can now program it with your mobile phone.
Okay, so the reason that's a big deal is in the past, if I wanted to tell the BCDC that I have a lead acid versus a lithium ion battery, there'd be a trigger wire that you would connect. And if somebody who's not familiar with installing it hooked up that wire, but you had the wrong battery type, or you changed battery types and you didn't change that, you would get error or overheating, or sometimes you would get that code.
You might just not maybe charge your battery quite right.
Okay, and so now rather than having that wired connector and being basically locked into the style of battery, you can now choose on the device, which is a big deal.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're also IP rated. So we have protection against moisture, dust, and vibration. We have an official IP rating. With the Bluetooth app, though, some extra features that we've added that we never had before. One is automated charge back to the start battery. So in the event that your auxiliary battery gets to 100% and you have some available energy from your solar panel, it'll automatically put a charge back to your start battery as well.
All right, that's huge.
All batteries are maintained.
Oh my! I didn't know about that. I'm all about that.
But wait, there's more. Think about you have a flat start battery.
Okay.
You don't need any jump starts for where we're going, right?
Right.
So you can simply, by the press of a button or with your mobile app, introduce a fast charge back to your start battery using the power from your auxiliary battery for 15 minutes. Within 15 minutes, you can start your vehicle. No jump start. Sean.
So that's game changing.
With the BCDC Alpha, we cover all your batteries in your vehicle.
So the reason that I went to a house battery system the way I did with the original BCDC is because I wanted nothing touching my start battery. I wanted my house battery to run my fridge and all that. So because we're going, you don't want to run out of starter battery, and that happens. You can run your fridge down. So I'm like, I want a house battery system or auxiliary battery system. But knowing that I could use my solar panel, because people think, I have solar, I can hook it to the battery. No, not without a charge controller, you can't.
No.
And so if you don't have that infrastructure as part of your electronic system, there's not necessarily an easy way to just make your regular starting battery come back to life.
Not if you've got your lithium battery in the back of your truck.
Right.
And lithium battery
cables are too short, and
maybe your lithium battery is not designed to be running a starter motor of a truck.
Yeah, right? It doesn't have the cold cranking amps, or you don't have a buddy with you, or your, God forbid, your jump box, you left it at home on the shelf. I don't need it.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, no, this is huge.
Yeah. So the BCDC Alpha, we've also released our Manager Alpha systems here in the US. Now they're available in 75 amp and 100 amp right now in the US. That means that's your DC-DC charger, your solar regulator, that's your AC shore power charger. Features all of these charge back features and battery recovery modes, but also a night mode. Now, being a charger at 75 and 100 amps, we need a cooling fan.
Which is a lot, by the way. Yeah, so the new BCDC, the top is the 50. The old one was a 40, I think, 45. I've where that top one is.
So, the new BCDCs are available in 25 and 50.
Okay, so the difference between charging, if you use a solar panel, you can see the old BCDC, because I had the original lower output one.
Yeah.
My new one cranks. I can't even imagine what 50 must be like. I mean, I think 65 amp hour battery, it's probably at 30% in the morning after going night, running my fridge and all my other stuff.
Yeah.
And in strong SoCal desert sun, where I usually am, it takes about 2.5 hours. Before lunchtime, I'm totally charged.
Wow, that's fantastic.
With a 200 watt panel.
Yeah, easy. I mean,
now I'm like, where do I put the rest of this stuff all day?
Yeah. So basically, you get 5 amps per 100 watts.
Okay.
So you got 200 watts, you're getting 10 amps.
Yeah.
10 amps for 5 hours is 50 amp hours. You virtually replenish the majority of standard dual battery systems in 5 hours of charge.
Awesome. I love this new product. I'm super jealous of it, but this is going to be a game changer for people who are building out their systems. always recommend having a separate system than your starting battery, but this allows you to also be able to charge your starting battery is awesome.
Oh, yeah. Without having to have any different gadgets or solenoids or relays or special wiring, it just will look after all the batteries in your truck.
Now, I've got the 200 watt solar, the folding panel, which is great, and I've got your 1,000 watt inverter all set up in the back of my Jeep, and so I'm able to run Starlink and all the other things off of that. And I'm looking here, you have a 3,000 watt pure sine inverter that's in this van. That thing is a beast.
It's a beast, all right. I mean, we can run the coffee machine, we can run the microwave, we can run our inductive cooktop.
Oh, man.
And the fridge, whatever we need to run.
Yeah, I love the pure sine. So what people don't realize is a lot of the cheap, you'll get the Amazon inverters.
Yeah.
They stair step the power output.
It's a modified sine wave.
And you guys have a pure sine wave, which essentially it mimics what your house power delivery would be like, right?
To be honest, the power that you get out of these inverters is cleaner than what you get out of all of your home.
Oh, man. Walk me through what are some, you've got this van here. We're sitting at SEMA, and you've got a Mercedes Sprinter, and we're sitting in the back, and you've got a bench lifted up with plexiglass so you can see inside of these batteries. Let's walk me through this.
So here we're using our 150 amp hour Alpha 150 batteries. They each battery can handle a constant 200 amps.
Wow.
So one battery alone could run a 2,000 watt inverter, where traditionally you would need two batteries. But here we got three, just because we can. We're running a 3,000 watt inverter. Each of these batteries has its own Bluetooth chip, so we can see the health of each individual battery. Up behind you on your right hand side there, you have the color display. We can be turning our lights on and off using the Red Vision Rogue system. This network of products is connected through the R-Bus, the Red Arc R-Bus, and you see our smart battery monitor there, monitoring the energy in and out of our battery bank. It's a masterpiece.
It's amazing how clean this install is. If you love wiring, this would blow you away. It's so clean. There's almost nothing you see. All the wires are perfectly done. It makes me jealous.
It's really neat install.
I guess that's the thing. I think I'm jealous of this van and all these new products because I have wired these. And if you don't know what you're doing, you get in trouble. But, man, when you get it nice and everything's going and I had an old shop instructor. He said, just make sure you never pass the smoke test.
Yeah.
So what's the smoke test? Because when the smoke comes out, the test is complete. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we have really good seals, so we don't let the smoke out.
Well, perfect. Well, appreciate your time. And, again, big fan of Red Arc. You guys make great products. If anyone's listening to the podcast and you guys have mobile power needs, whether you're overlanding or your job site, check out Red Arc's products because you're not going to find better ones on the market.
Thank you, Sean. Appreciate it.
As if that wasn't enough SEMA for you, Holman, the next episode is even more SEMA.
And then the one after that is more SEMA, and then one after that is more SEMA, and then we're back to your regularly scheduled programming.
Yeah. So thank you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed that. Hopefully it felt like you were there with us.
And some of you were. Thanks for everybody who came up and said hi. That was great. All right, so before we end the show, we have to thank our sponsors. So thank you to Nissan for being the presenting sponsor of the Truck Show podcast, our friends over at Banks Power, as well as AMSOIL. Thanks for that 38-ounce Tomahawk. And, of course, EGR. Thanks for the beers.
The Truck Show Podcast is a production of Truck Famous LLC. This podcast was created by Sean Holman and Jay Tillis with production elements by DJ Omar Khan. If you like what you've heard, please open your Apple Podcast or Spotify app and give us a 5-star rating. And if you're a fan, there's no better way to show your support than by patronizing our sponsors. Some vehicles may have been harmed during the making of this podcast.